everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence Gardino. The week begins on Monday, June the 24th. This is not as active planetary-wise as the previous week, but also because at the beginning of next week is going to be the next new moon, which is actually a solar eclipse on July the 2nd. And always the week before a new moon, it's a winding down, bringing closure, wrapping up the previous new moon energies. However, the week before and the week after a solar eclipse is best not to be making any kind of significant life decisions about from love to money. There's too much unstable energy with the eclipse that's hidden or not. You don't have all the awareness of the bigger picture. Now on Monday, on the 24th, pleasure-seeking relational Venus is going to be in a stressful angle to foggy, nebulous Neptune. Now, Venus is also the planet of entertainment and creativity, and when it's in hard angle to Neptune, you can get lost in fantasy. Great for entertainment, for music, for being an artist, for being a performer. But in the everyday world and dealing with your personal relationships, with Venus-Neptune, there could be denial on one end of the spectrum to disappointments. There's a lot of muddied connections and communications in relationships. Now, as we get into Tuesday, the moon, there's no major planetary events. The moon, which sets the emotional tone, is going to be in fiery Aries. There's a lot of energy to just get things done. There's no kinds of crisis going on astrologically. As we go into Wednesday, communication Mercury, that had been for a few weeks in emotional subjective Cancer, is moving into dynamic outgoing Leo. Our minds will start to become sharper, quicker, communications do better overall. But you'll feel this kind of more ideas and communications and interests being more stimulated. As we go into Thursday, now the Sun is going to be in harmony with Uranus. This is a good day for reinventing your life, trying new things, thinking out of the box, bringing in new interests. Often the Sun, Uranus, is really favorable for anything that deals with technology, computers, because Uranus rules that domain. Since I'm doing an astrology reading, Uranus is the planet associated with astrology. So this could also be a good day for learning astrology, studying it, buying a book on it, or having an astrological reading or setting one up. By Friday, the moon is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no more active planetary events. We're really winding down to the last days before the supercharged solar eclipse new moon. Best to rest. Certainly don't try to commence anything important. Friday, the moon is in more stabilizing Taurus, but Saturday and Sunday, the moon is in Gemini. Well, your emotions, moon may be all over the place and you're being distracted and you're interested in this and then you get bored and you're on to the next. But when the moon is in Gemini, right before a Cancer new moon, that means that the moon is in the darkest phase before it starts a new lunar cycle. So a very dark moon is trying to be external, interacting with family and relationships. You might feeling like you're not connecting. Maybe that's why you're feeling restless and distracted and jumping from one idea to the next. But it's just energy. The positive of a dark moon is and we're moving into, and the sun is already in the sign of Cancer, which can be very self-reflective. And then the dark moon, very good day for meditation, introspection, spiritual studies, or just spending some quality time alone and reflecting on what's going on in your life, and maybe even thinking, what do I want for in the near future? Because that solar eclipse is certainly going to be jump-starting a lot of people to push into some new directions. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for the one-question offer for a nominal fee. You can find a direct link to request it in the description box below the video. The time of birth is important, so most people, you just say nothing, and maybe you don't know anything. But even if you remember it was in the early morning, my mother said it was dinner time, that's better than nothing. And if you could put that information back in with your question, that would be great. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, have a great week.